Hello, everybody. Happy hump day. I am excited to finally finish season 10, you guys. Today I launched the latest episode. It is called American Woman. Who freaking loved dancing to freaking Livy Kravitz? I haven't had a glass of rosé yet, so that I don't know where that came from. Lenny Kravitz, right? I mean, American Woman, I feel like is just a staple for NFL cheer, NBA dance. Like it's just a routine that everybody dances to, right? What is this hair doing? Okay, hi everybody. I'm excited. So I think just it took forever, right? I mean, thank you for your patience. I hope you guys were just waiting for that subscribe button to ding or whatever you call it. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, please do it. I mean, when I talk crap on Cheer Chat, that is definitely part of the podcast, but it's their actual episodes, and you should subscribe and you should leave a review. Let me know what you think about it. You guys DM me all the time and the most amazing messages, and I'm like, dang, I wish I could share it as like a review, but whatever. It's the thought that counts. But we're back, okay? So, American Woman, I interviewed Tracy Hirsch and Bridget. I'm gonna say Bridget Faith, girl. That is not your last name. Bridget Menard. I always go off you guys like Instagram handles or whatever when I think of people, and that's why half the time I don't shout people out here because I'm gonna be like, "Hello, Holly M. Durham" or something. You know what I mean? It's like just call her Holly, and then I get freaked out of that's not your name. I overthink it. But anyway, back to American Woman. I interview them both. Tracy is the director of the Austin division of USA Cheerleaders, and Bridget is a current member of the squad. And it was just so cool. So I'm not even going to give too much away because it is such a endearing episode to me. I met Bridget and Tracy over Instagram over the years, just communicating. And Bridget, I actually met for the first time in person a year ago, almost to the day ish, in Austin. And she showed us such a good time, Brittany and I. And so it's just great that we finally got to do the interview together. And just so that you guys can learn about other options, either in retirement, possibly even while you're on another team. But this organization has a very admirable purpose of supporting our military, first responders. They do a lot in the community. They perform, they do a lot of community service, appearances. And so I just thought it was great to hear about the differences between their squad and like what it's being part of like the NFL or NBA, or even semi-pro teams. But it's just an option that I don't think enough people know about. So I'm pumped to actually share that episode. So check it out. Available like in everywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, blah blah blah. Um, but I'm back, and I got plenty of episodes stacked on stacked on stacked. So they're just going to be flying at you every week on Wednesdays, and I encourage you to tell a friend, subscribe, and I was going to say hit the like button. Don't do that. That's for YouTube, right? But the point is, let me know what you think of the podcast episodes as they launch. This is the last season. So, again, I'll just put it out there. I actually will reach technically, I'm already over 100 episodes. But when I retire this podcast this season, it will be on the 100th episode. And when I was doing a little math, I realized that I need one more. I need one more episode. So, let's do it. It just dawned on me. Like I've done plenty of bonus episodes, so like I'm already over that number, but it will be so fitting to end on episode 100. So help me out. One more interview. I would love to talk to anybody who's newly retired about your experiences now that you could talk freely. This is your platform. And so whoever you'd like to hear from, spread the word, reach out to me. The website has a link to request an interview. So whether you hit me up on DMs or like sign up through Calendly on the website, let me know you want to do an interview and let's chat. Okay. So that's that. Cheers to the rest of season 10 finally getting out there. Okay. I'm going to drink. It's good to see everybody. Hi, Tracy. I was just talking about you. This is Tracy, everybody who just joined, the director of USA Cheerleaders Austin. You can feel free to pipe in with me if you want to, or if you're over me already, then that's fine too. But good to see you. Oh, this is good, Rose. Okay. All right, you guys ready? So this topic came up when I was feeling people out of like what you wanted to cover during, you know, cheer chat topics, right? I'm checking out YouTube too. Hi, baby girl, Peter North here, old film. Oh, Peter. Okay, somebody says Peter North, old adult film star. Okay, I fall for every okey doke. Huge Packer fan. Okay, Peter. Welcome to the Pro Cheerleading Podcast. All right, I'm gonna focus. Hi, Ray. Um, so this topic again, like it came up because people were wanting to discuss something that I think we all probably don't think about enough. I don't know. You guys have to let me know. But when somebody wrote in and requested this topic, I was just like, yes, because this is something that I've been wanting to cover for a long time. And I really wasn't sure how I would go about it. So bear with me and join me and put some comments in. I will try to read them. I just think it's a topic that I just want to throw out there as something to think about, something to talk about. But the person that wrote in was just wondering how dancers felt about if they're religious or have a a religious background that made them feel uncomfortable about like the over sexualized nature of pro cheer at times, and that can maybe come through either maybe in the choreography or the photo shoots where you might have some like the image or that kind of persona that makes you feel uncomfortable because it conflicts with your faith, right? And I don't know. I just think it's something that I've seen or noticed probably in some of the DCC following that I've done where people have made comments that kind of suggest that if they were really truly Christian, like questioning the Christianity of the women on the team because they appear so sexy or they make men cheat on their wife, or I don't know. It's all this extra stuff that I was just I dismiss it because like comments online that you see, you're like, they cannot be serious. But I do think it's like maybe a legit, not even legitimate. It's just something that actually happens where you do feel attacked. Like, how could you cheer if you really are truly a Christian or believe whatever your faith is? And so I just wanted to open the floor for that because I think it is something that, you know, I can't personally relate to in the sense that I would feel that kind of conflict where I felt like I couldn't be a part of professional cheerleading and do the things that are required as a professional cheerleader without it conflicting with my faith. Like I don't think I would do anything if I felt like there was a conflict with my faith, or I would have to find ways of drawing some boundaries of what I could, you know, live with and maybe what I feel uncomfortable about. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but for example, like if I were doing a photo shoot and then I saw what they wanted me to wear and I for like a swimsuit calendar or something like that and made me feel a little uncomfortable. I think there's room if you're on a team to kind of to speak to that, not necessarily making a big hoopla over it, but definitely to talk about just in a respectful manner. Like this is just makes me feel a little uncomfortable. Is there any way that I could wear something else? I think is if you're making a decision to join a pro cheerleading team, you obviously want to be as familiar as you can with their style. In terms of choreography, like what's the image that the cheerleaders uphold, and if it doesn't jive well with you on a religious basis, then I would think it would be worthwhile considering whether to do it or not. But I was curious if people have experience like that, kind of like being attacked based on your faith. And, it's a different point, but related, where um, I always, okay, so let's just talk locker room rituals. Everybody probably does it to some extent, right? Before a game, before a performance, you're all in a circle in the locker room. You have like a little quick huddle up before the game. Maybe somebody says a prayer, maybe the director says a little something something, you all come in, you say 1 2 3 yada yada yada, and that's your ritual before going out. Giggles. My dog is scratching at the door, but she's gonna have to figure it out, let her out. You can let her out. But sometimes that ritual involves a prayer circle where heads are bowed, and it's purely based on Christian faith. And I've always wondered, wouldn't say it was like a Seahawks tradition per se. Like I would do my own little prayer of like walking from the locker room to the tunnel for whoever wanted to join in the way that I talk to God, and just like this is not I'm not a preacher's kid and it's going to come out the way that I pray. But people would join me for that. But I felt better with it being kind of like voluntary and not putting people on the spot, because it's like, what if everybody doesn't believe in God? What if people have different faiths? Like, what does that mean or look like when people are all kind of, you can't just kind of bow out of that moment because it's a bonding moment and it's very serious. Like, it's the way of the team focusing. And there were a lot of people who wrote into me when I posted this in the story, with different perspectives. And I don't know if they're actually like in the chat right now. I mentioned them joining me. Feel free to join me and offer your perspective on that. I just think it's something that if that is part of your team ritual, I don't know, or maybe it's part of orientation as you get to know one another. Um, I just wouldn't want anybody to feel uncomfortable in that time where you're, in Jesus naming it and just kind of assuming that everybody's on the same page in a team prayer. But I think especially for football, there's this kind of like faith, football, and family. It's this very like they all go hand in hand, like religion, not just religion, Christianity, football, and cheerleading. It's this weird relationship over time if you really think about it. And I don't think we talk about it enough. And that's my attempt at throwing it out there. I think it is a discussion that would be better if we shared personal accounts or kind of like how it feels. I mean, I could do a poll to see if people feel pressured or uncomfortable, but a couple people did write in just saying that, in those moments where they have a team prayer, oh, there's a comment, I'm going to read it in a second, that they just don't say a certain part of it if they're from a Jewish faith, for example, or some people wrote in saying, I'm a little concerned about being vocal about my faith because I'm probably, the minority in a very Christian, they're in Texas, for crying out loud. So anyway, I think it's something that probably people might be shy to talk about, but I have a comment, so I would. Paige said I could talk about this for hours. Paige, right? Because it's like you're in Texas. You see how like the football, religion, cheerleading, like what is the deal with that trilogy, if you will? Hopefully that's not sacrilegious to say. Anyway, it's not sacrilegious. Okay. Something about football and patriotism and then Christianity for sure. So I'm going to go back to the comment above that. I grew up in a pretty strict Christian home, and I will never waver on my faith. I'm still pretty involved in my church, and my pastor/church loves that I cheer. They are super supportive. Oh, very, very good. There's, let me see. There was another comment. My pastor goes to games, but I've never felt over sexualized with my team, so I've always been comfy. Really, that's good because I think that's where it would really get, uncomfortable if you felt like you were performing in a way that didn't jive with what your personal beliefs were, or like where if you were at a game and you're like, dang, my pastor's out there, and I just feel like not ashamed, but just whatever, and I'm glad that you felt comfortable with your team and, with the way that your involvement with the team, that you didn't feel like there was a conflict, right? And I think if you are very rooted in your faith, hopefully you can withstand those types of attacks. But I do know that that's a real issue. People coming after these women that are on these teams, and questioning their faith because they are a cheerleader. And I thought it was just so ludicrous when I first would see comments like that. But I do think that it is a reality in certain areas, and it's kind of crazy. Paige, you can get up in here if you want to. Hi, Bridget. Bridget just joined too. Happy launch day, Bridget and Tracy. Let's see. So Paige says the Southern Baptist Church is very patriotic and it all goes hand in hand, and it's weird to me. Yes, it is a little odd if you think about it. And I don't know what our thing is with that. I just think it's interesting when people kind of forget that other religions do exist. And, when you think about the rosters and you have people from different countries and, not everybody's on this diversity, right? That's what it means. If people are going to be different and have, different faiths, and it's just something to think about for that team ritual. What I did appreciate, just like in all my Insta stalking, is that the Miami Heat dancers actually have, like, as their huddle up before games, they each go around, and of course, there's like 16 to 8, 20 dancers in the NBA, so it's a little different than a 30 plus squad for NFL, but they each kind of go around and say something that they're thankful for before the game. And it doesn't have to be like a whole speech, it could be one word, but they, it's just a time to reflect on something that you're grateful for, which I thought was a great way of connecting and reflecting on your day. Everybody's coming from Lord knows where, a job, they have their family, different things come up. And it might just be a good way to center everybody on something positive. And so there's other ideas of pregame rituals. And so I just wanted to throw that out there because that's what we do is just, taking into account different perspectives um, and yeah. Any other comments? She said, I think it's weird when any team, work team or anything, prays to Jesus and just assumes everyone prays to Jesus. Yeah, that's the bottom line for me is kind of being respectful of other religions and not, um, no one should cower in their faith ever, but it's just this assumption that everybody is on the same page. It's just kind of like, you know, I don't know why people do that. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders are very pro Jesus, which is great, but I wonder if a Jewish woman joined if she would feel uncomfy. That's the question. I don't know either, and I think maybe it's not to say that you would be used to that or kind of being overlooked or just not having your religion recognized in any kind of way, but I really do wonder if they feel comfortable speaking about their faith just as everybody else does that's on the team that is of the Christian background. It's just a blanket assumption, and I don't know how you wouldn't feel a little bit uncomfortable. But I don't want to speak for anybody, but I do think it's interesting. Um, I don't want to call people out by name if you don't want me to, so I'm just going to keep saying someone. Uh, Says, likewise, I'm more spiritual than religious, but always still participate in the prayer circle before a game when I cheered. Um, yeah, I think the intent, obviously, with a prayer before a game is it's clear you're praying for people for people to be safe out there, not get hurt, for people to do their best, to fulfill their purpose. Like it's well intentioned. I think it's just kind of thinking about how that may come off to people who, when you're actually praying. You know what I'm trying to say, y'all. See, I knew this was going to be a difficult topic for me to sound all smooth and fresh with it. But here, let me read some more comments so I don't have to sound smart. Cheering in college, we had a routine prayer we said in unison, and it started, Dear Heavenly Father. We had a young lady who practiced Islam. Whoa. And she just didn't say that part. Okay. Somebody did write in and say or that was something that they also did. They just omitted the in Jesus' name or anything that referred had a reference that just didn't jive with their faith. And I think but the fact that I get that they can make adjustments. People who have those different religious backgrounds can make adjustments to not say certain portions of the prayer. But I just also think that teams can make the adjustment of like doing something else other than a prayer, or maybe just making it where it's, I won't say optional, but kind of doing it in a manner that doesn't isolate anybody, right? I mean, and I don't really know what that looks like, but just food for thought. Yes. You loved pry and LOL. She goes, girl. Oh, you loved prayers, and you would say them out loud. Is that what you said, girl? Um. Anyway, no. I mean, I think for me, praying before a game was literally like just asking for focus, asking for again, the safety of myself and my teammates, just for us to like live out our passion and being thankful for the opportunity to do what we're doing, and just putting everybody a smile on everyone's face, and just a chance for us to hold hands and to be on the same page about something. And I just think that that can happen either without the religious aspect, or there's other ways of getting that connection. Does that make sense? Okay. If you guys have other thoughts, I welcome them. Um, Again, it's kind of a touchy topic, and I don't want to. It's not even about offending anybody. I don't usually talk about religion a lot like that, but it is an observation I've had for quite some time. It is a little, it's just really peculiar, and I do think to a certain extent, maybe for certain teams, it's almost part of that like good girl package of like the NFL cheerleader, the all American girl next door. I almost feel like it's an unspoken like, and yeah, and you're Christian, and you're a good Christian girl. I feel like that's part of the unspoken expectation or stereotype of cheerleaders, and it's just something I find interesting because that's like, where did that come from, and is that really mindful that there are other religions out there and people who um, Anyway, you guys get it. I'm not going to belabor the point. Somebody's writing in from Antarctica. Are you serious? Or are you joking? See, this is why I fall for everything. Okay, I'm just trying to pay attention to YouTube, but I don't know what these comments are from. Um, who knows what's going on in Antarctica? Maybe there are people watching this. Who knows? Are there any people in Antarctica? Do I sound dumb right now? Listen, it's been a week, you guys. Okay, I'm just gonna say that right now. I have like maybe two brain cells left. It's getting towards the end of the quarter at work. Um, so much going on. Okay, she's from Italy, but she's working there. Okay, thank you for not making me feel dumb. Welcome to the Pro Cheerleading podcast. I'm going to move on to topics that I have researched and I know I can sound smart about. I went through finally, and you guys, because life has been so crazy, I have not, I didn't have the time to really like, check and see what all the teams were up to, following auditions like a stalker, like I normally do. So, um, I caught up, and I'm going to do half of the NFL at a time because there's too many darn teams and I don't want to bore you to death. But I'm just going to share some observations of after kind of catching up on social media for the different teams. And um, I'm just going to get into it. Okay. I'm going to take a sip. If you have anything to add to this whole religious topic, I'll give you a couple minutes. And I'm lying, not a couple minutes, a couple seconds. Okay. The end. Let's see. So we're going to kind of go in alphabetical order, and let's start with the Atlanta Falcons. That's not alphabetical; it'd be the Arizona Cardinals, but whatever. That's where we're going. Atlanta Falcons. Their team has been formed. I'm still waiting for, you know how it is, you guys. You guys are doing your photo shoots, you're doing your retreats, your mini camps, etc., your training camps, and not all the bio information is up. So it's not going to be, you know, roster picking in that kind of way of like looking at bios that I was hoping for. But I'm just noting little observations. I thought that the Falcons cheerleaders had the cutest event associated with their retreat. It was called a Royal Tea. And so seeing everybody dressed up, uh, they weren't they just in the UK for, I feel like they were in the UK last year for the season. But I thought the royalty was a cute idea. I don't know if that's normal part of the tradition or not, but um, and they also just recently had Michelle Von Bailey, um, that hyphen because she just got married recently, but she was a guest choreographer there. So I have to give a shout out because it is her birthday, or it was yesterday, or it's today. But happy birthday, Michelle! Um, but when I was looking at all these different teams, it was just kind of interesting to see the different like events that they would put on for the retreat. And so some of the observations are just the ones that I thought were extra cute. And to see what you guys think, is it better if you're kind of doing like the bonding for the new squad forming, like in a retreat where you're actually local and kind of at the team facility and whatnot, or if you're actually on a trip like the calendar trip? I'm sure you're going to be like travel the calendar trip, but there's just different varieties that I'm seeing on the teams of ways that they seem to bond. Um, and that kind of leads into the Baltimore Ravens. When you do make the team, there's so many appearances that line up where you're doing a lot of fan interaction, right? And so it looked like the Ravens did what is this called? Beach Bash. They went to Ocean City, Maryland. I don't know if that was a whole squad or not, but it just looks really fun. I enjoy this time of the year because you get to see a lot of the appearances and the squad bonding. And the Beach Bash just looked like a lot of fun. You had like the people stunting and the communities involved, and it just looked like a blast. And if you are in the room, Ray was here earlier, but um, I love the fan tours. I loved 12 tour when I was on Seahawks, like going to all over your state to different cities and getting to see the fans. And they are so freaking pumped when you come into town. It's not even funny. So seeing these kind of, you know, events, I think are just really, really cute. Okay, so I'm going to tell you my latest obsession for a team. And it did not start just because of the recent news. Okay, so Carolina Top Cats. They're just one of my teams to watch this season. They were last season, frankly, because I didn't get to freaking go live as much as I wanted to last season with or at the beginning of this season with the podcast. But just little things that I've been noting about the Top Cats, and I've probably given them props before, but um, these unfiltered posts that they've been doing, you guys, it's kind of them giving like a raw, uncut, unfiltered view of their team and their insecurities. They speak so openly about things that they've always been insecure about. And I just think it probably reaches so many people. I mean, you have people talking about so many different things, public speaking, their sexuality. I mean, you know, their height, their body, like they are just opening up and sharing that. And I just think I love that. I just think it's very beautiful to see that level of vulnerability, and to have it celebrated. Like they have a whole like photo shoot theme for it. You guys are just like, I'm watching and I'm definitely peeping. The other thing that I'm obsessed with you guys over is just, how do you do this? How do you coordinate this? They have done, and I think I probably posted it in my story at some point, but they do these remakes of photos that for the players. And so most recently they did the NFL draft, and they have like photos from like their draft moment when they're getting picked, and they recreate it with like from the clothes to the additional people to the props they're holding. And I'm just like, who has the time to sit there and coordinate this? Who is the mastermind behind this? It's like, hey, you've been assigned so and so, recreate this picture. I'm obsessed. I think it's so creative and funny, and you guys nail it. So I'm watching. I like what I see. And what was there was one other thing. Oh, I posted it in the story. They worked with Charles Smith, and he goes by Chuck, but which I'm always nervous that I'm actually can call him that. But his choreography is so dope. I had him on the podcast hella seasons ago. It's called the Before I Let Go episode. But I love his choreography. He's done choreography for the Brooklyn Nets, the Chicago Lovables, different teams. But I think this was his first NFL team, and the routine was fire. Cannot wait to keep seeing what you guys are doing this year. I just think you have like this bond that you can feel with your team and the way that you guys post and have fun with each other, and I'm here for it. I did notice too at the end of the year they had like a almost like a team retreat. It looked like a camp or something. They were doing games and like, just had this whole bonding. And it was the end of the year where you can kind of celebrate your wins, your losses, and kind of bond and connect as a team. And I thought, what a beautiful way to end your year. I mean, you can have a banquet or a dinner, but having an actual retreat at the end of the year, I thought was really different. And the bonding is there. The proof is in the pudding. They were just at like a Charlotte football club, like soccer game, and you guys just look like you're having your best time. And I love seeing that. It makes me happy. So I'm watching y'all. I love your social media game. Like you guys are just having fun and setting the standard, I think, of like creativity, right? So don't everybody go copy what they're doing, but I just think it's really cute. So I'm enjoying it. I don't know what my dog wants, but um, okay. So I'm just putting it out there. I'm trying to catch up still, but I still have not seen anything about DCC and their auditions process being captured by a new platform or network or anything. If y'all know something you want to tell me, like a little birdie, and just keep it between us, feel free to let me know. But I know the auditions are underway, but I don't know if they're being captured or if we'll be able to view it. But hopefully we will. When are they going to freaking announce it? Um, okay, Denver Broncos cheerleaders. I'm moving on to them. They are celebrating 30 years of the program this year, and I just noticed that they are also stepping up their social media game big time. Um, their director has been kind of, I think, the main focus, Shauna Peters, of a lot of the videos, like the interviews and kind of the more in-depth marketing kind of spiel, if you will, of what the team is doing when they went to Mexico for the calendar and just their auditions overall. But I'm excited to see, just because they have a lot more of a diverse squad this year, um, what they keep promoting to celebrate those 30 years. I'm watching and excited to hear more from the dancers and some of that marketing footage, or just the videos and things that you post. Um, but yeah, I mean, some of these programs have been around for decades, and anything that celebrates that, I'm excited to see. Ooh, so somebody said on YouTube, DCC had their finals yesterday, according to the Reddit, I guess, that they have, and the training camp candidates were announced. Okay, no word if another network or streaming service will pick up the show yet. So they're doing it, and they're filming it. I don't care if they had to grab somebody within the organization to film everything. They have to leverage that content somehow to salvage something. So we'll just wait patiently or not. Okay, let's see. All I saw for the Detroit Lions was just that they're in training camp. They kind of had posts of all of their training camp candidates. I will say, and this is all out of order and whatnot, but just after looking at different roster pictures, and I'm excited. Are you guys peeping that body diversity is now becoming more of a thing in the NFL and NBA? I would say I'm excited about that. Like, I'm seeing women of all shapes and sizes, and I'm just saying, it just makes me happy. It's exciting to see. Oh my God, I have not been scrolling up, and people are saying things. Shh. Uh, damn it. Yeah. Okay. Makiba's gonna have to back up a little bit. Take a pause. Detroit Lions. I was just saying, great job. The people are in training camp, and it just made me think that I've been seeing a trend of like diverse body types, and I was super excited. And now we're gonna backtrack because this girl right here, I was like, nobody's talking anymore. Such an idiot. Okay. Somebody said so. I think assuming Jesus is who everyone's praying to is unfair. Again, agreed. Okay, so somebody clarified the earlier comment. I love praying out loud over the team, but I guess if someone is uncomfortable, we could switch it to mentally visualizing our perfect performance. That's a great idea of a way to bring everybody together and focus and centered on the performance and, just being mindful of other people. I'm so sorry I missed all these comments, you guys. Someone said, I agree the team should do something a little more general. Um, oh gosh, I'm such an idiot. Biggest thing is to feel empowered and to not falter on your morals or faith. We used to do both pray and gratitude, and you could not say it. Perhaps it could have been hard to choose not to. Oh, and you could like not say the thing, but it would be hard to choose not to. Totally agree. I just think it's hard to kind of just be subtle about it. I think, you just feel like everybody's probably watching you. You know what I mean? Even if they're not, I just think it would be awkward to, you're literally holding everybody's hand next to you. You can hear the person next to you saying amen. You can hear, you know what I mean? And if you don't, you just probably don't feel very comfortable not to say something. Okay. I feel like such a dork because, of course, Chuck is in the building. Hi, Chuck. I loved your freaking choreo. I'm so late. Okay, so where is it? This light. What are we talking about? Hey, man. Um, okay. On my team, it was less of a prayer and more just a saying. Um, let's see. It plays into a good girl narrative that cheerleaders have to be. I like her idea about doing gratitude circle instead of prayer. Be sexy but don't have sex. Wear crop top but pray. Oh, just all of the contradictions. I think is what these comments are. Kind of like that imagery of like perfect Christian girl as a cheerleader, and how it's just conflicting with some of the ways that we are portrayed as cheerleaders. Um, man, oh man. Okay, this will never happen again. I'm gonna be on point, I promise. Beach Bass was super fun. It was just a select few of the teammates. Okay. Beach Bass is the most fun. We went every year as a playmaker too. And you guys will hear about playmakers in the episode because Tracy was part of the playmakers while she was with the Ravens. And so great. I'm just way behind, but whatever, it is what it is. The Ravens cheerleaders and the Ravens playmakers go as well. Also very great. Okay. Somebody can hear giggles in the background. Yep, because she is a ratchet little doggy. Uh, okay, so people are just catching up on the DCC. Okay, we're caught up now. Damn it, guys, I'm sorry. All right, I'm paying attention. Go Playmakers, go Ravens. All right, so we're caught up. We left off with the Lions. We left off talking about body uh, diversity, for lack of a better way of putting it. Um, I just love to see it. I saw that in the NBA as well with some of the teams that I thought, just were body types that you just wouldn't see before. And damn it, if you can dance, you can dance. And I'm here for it. I noticed that with the Panthers, the Lions. They're more. I mean, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but I just think it's great to see that we're not hung up on the same body type. You know what I'm saying? It's progress, you guys. Trust. Um, okay. The other team I'm excited about right now. So I'm looking at rosters, and okay, we're going to talk about it. Houston Texans, you guys. I'm just gonna have like I want to scream diversity in big letters. So looking at their roster, and I was like starting to scroll. They don't have bios yet, so whatever it is, what it is. Um, it was just such a beautiful variety of women. Like if I could just do a diversity survey just for their particular team, um, it was just exciting to see. Like so diverse. I don't know the women's backgrounds necessarily, but I thought it was just a very, very beautiful squad. Now, having said that, um, I think it's a little interesting that they still have like this voting component to their finals. So, like all the finalists, there's like a fan vote that comes into picture, and maybe it's like more popularity contest after that. I don't know what their process is. I have to like sign up and act like I'm auditioning to get any information these days. That's why I don't cover auditions the way I used to. Um, but either way, I mean, it's a beautiful squad. I was just very impressed with the overall diversity of the squad, just based on that first glance. Because that squad used to be very blonde and I won't say blonde and blue eyed, but not as much diversity as I saw. So check it out. I just literally was excited, and that's just the kind of vibe that you want to have, where you just see beautiful women of different just different backgrounds. It's more exciting and interesting and intriguing, and you want to learn more about them. And hurry up and get those bios up, you guys. Okay. Just make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, Colts is next. Um, I want to shout out the Colts cheerleaders. They were kind of my fun squad last season to watch. But I just wanted to say thank you for the prominent post that you guys recently posted in celebration of AAPI month. There may have been other teams, I'm still going through my little, checkpoint and looking back at other team social media. But they highlighted two of their dancers, Hannah and Mika, and, had a quote from them. But it was just, it was very striking, bold font for their quotes about their culture. And I just thought this is what I would love to see as the norm. I want to see it. And we talked about it last week. And as I was going through, I was just like, yes, Colts, just like that. That's what we want to see. And that's all I have to say about that. I was actually just happy and excited to see the celebration of culture on the Colts little Instagram. You can check it out yourself. All right, next one, Jacksonville Jaguars. I just have a question. It's a question I don't know the answer to. On their Instagram, they don't have the bios up and stuff yet, but they have these roaring review posts. It's called roaring review. Like in the picture, it's like a squad, like a profile shot of one of the girls. What do you call them? Glamour shot. It doesn't really have much of a caption though. It just says roaring review, has the cheerleader name, a heart, and then a little jaguar emoji. And they have them like all throughout their feed from the season. I wasn't sure if it was kind of like, I thought it was going to be like a roaring review of one of their dancers, where they actually like say something about the dancer and why it's a roaring review of this person, but it's literally their name and their heart and a jaguar. So I was just curious if it meant something, or can y'all elaborate on the caption a little bit? Just because, you know, curious people like me, I just was kind of confused as to what it meant. At first, I was like, are these people who are leaving the squad? Is this a way of introducing who's on the squad? But we need a little bit more information. That's all I'm going to say. It wasn't anything bad. I was just kind of like, if somebody knows, what does it mean? Feel free to let me know. But I think I'm watching everybody's. I got nerve to talk about social media. Okay, look at my feed. Don't look at my feed. But as I'm looking at the different teams and just seeing again the creativity and the ways that they're highlighting their sponsors and just all those things, like I'm kind of just noticing things and calling it out and asking questions because I want to know. Um, so the Kansas City Chiefs, and there were other teams that did this too, but I am going to just shout them out. I just think it's great when the teams acknowledge the accomplishments of their dancers, right? So, this is college graduation season, kind of like over right now, but they had posts congratulating the people that graduated from college on their team. It's a big deal, and when you make the team, it's often around the same time that you're focusing on finals, probably, and graduating, and so I did appreciate you know, seeing that, and then I noticed that the Chiefs are now back to just being uh, women, 34 women. Dominic was the one male on the team for a couple seasons, and it looks like he retired. So I was actually surprised to see that. Um, but, you know, and then you guys had a post talking about a surprise. Everybody's freaking out, and then you didn't tell us what the surprise was. So now I'm paying attention, and I want to know what it is. Hopefully, it's like a new uniform or something cool like that. Um, but just shout out to everybody who survived college, especially if you were doing NFL auditions at the same time. I think that is an incredible feat, and you guys deserve all the kudos. They're just teams that I think do more to kind of just to celebrate the accomplishments of their dancers. Like again, now I'm giving Miami Heat more kudos, but Miami Heat dancers actually gave grants to some of their. The women had an opportunity to apply for a grant that was, I think it was with one of their sponsors, but these women had businesses that they were, or pitching ideas for, or school. Somebody I think won a grant and was able to use that towards school. So like invest in these goddamn women and men that are on your teams and highlight the accomplishments that they have off the field. And I just think that's good content. Like we see the happy birthday posts and we see the holiday posts, the friendship day posts, and but you can get a little bit more, a little bit more substantive content. Like when I said that when you think of the top cats, for example, showing a little bit more of like the vulnerable uh, just personality and things that people can relate to. I just think we could do more in this space in this way. So that's my little update for these teams. This is half of them. I will do the other half next week. The podcast is back up and popping. I hope you enjoy this episode. There are so many moments where I just laugh because we just had a good ass time. We had some little bit of rosé and just talking. And I just think it's exciting, especially as we're coming off of audition season. I mean, auditions obviously are picking up big time. July is going to be, I think, a busy month for that. But just to keep in mind that there are other options out there, and there may be things that you wouldn't have thought of, whether it's semi-pro, USA cheerleaders, things that would be a good fit potentially for you. So I just encourage people to take a listen to it and not be in the dumps about how auditions may have turned out. You got to keep the faith and keep working, keep training, and there's just other opportunities out there. That's all I wanted to say about that. I really hope you enjoy American Woman episode. Um, oh, so the Cavs, okay, they're their first NBA dance team that announced their squad for next season. So I guess I better start paying attention to NBA as well. I thought that they kind of were like still early, but exciting. Okay, I mean, I always need to wait until there's more information about the team um, available, whether social media or the website. But congratulations to the Cavs Powerhouse Dance team. Um, yes, the path is never straight. Isn't that the truth, Tracy? You might think that you're going to be on this one track, like I really want to make this particular team, and I'm going to come hell or high water. Tracy, I think you even made such a good you made a good quote in the I'll put it into like a post, but just about the advice that I think you received from someone about knocking on doors and knocking on that same door over and over again. I will not give it away. um, but I just think people need to maybe just be open to other opportunities and really what that consists of, because it will not be the straight path that you might have anticipated. But that's the beauty of life, right? That really is. Bridget says if anyone has questions about USA Cheer, you can DM her. Uh, Bridget is good at sliding into the DMs and will respond. That's how we met. And again, I hope you enjoy American Women. Thank you for joining me for Cheer Chat. I'm excited. This time I will be talking to y'all more during this season. First half of the season, and even probably season 9, I was just putting out the episode, and that was all you would get, and I just wasn't able to get on to go live with you guys. But I'm back. I'm going to be all up in your grill. I'm going to stick with Wednesdays because I think it is a little bit better than Tuesday, Thursday. Watching somebody's practice night, and I'm missing half the other people, but it is what it is. It'll be up. It's always a pleasure with you too, Ray. I'm okay. So let me just talk. Oh, last topic, I promise. Let's talk about travel because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but airfare is not cute right now. The gas, the what, it tickets are like ridiculous, ridiculous. With that said, I'm planning to go to Pro Action this year. Um, I also am going to go to the Choreography Pros Convention, dance convention that is in Arizona, like the following weekend in July. so freaking pumped about that. I've been wanting to do that for a while now. They have some great choreographers that are part of their dance convention as well. And choreography that's just, it's just different. Like everybody goes pro action, I get it, and it's amazing. I had a great time. Um, but I'm so curious about choreography pros, and I'm going. So, Arizona, last weekend in July, I've been posting it in the story. I just want to, I'm only going really to say hi and to like meet more of you and to enjoy your dancing since I can't go to every game that I want to go to. But Ray and I connected, and I'm going to a Ravens game this year, you guys. I'm going. Um, I'm excited. But, you know, I love traveling if you guys haven't figured that out by now. And I'll have to see what teams I can, like I have to go back to my original list because I couldn't go to every team that I wanted to, you know, watch perform last year, but there will be, I'm going to be doing it again. And if you would like to donate to the Pro Cheerleading Podcast travel budget by sharing a ticket or two, um, it's so greatly appreciated. It makes it feasible. I'm always down to get on a plane. Sometimes just buying tickets on top of it, hotel, and. But I would love to come watch you guys in your element, and so um, that's happening. Uh, yes, yes, let's cheer Ray and Latrice together. Are you kidding me? This is what I'm saying. Like, I'm so excited to see. Like, I just want to see every team in their stadium doing their thing. I mean, a locker room visit would be like over the top, put me through the roof to just be able to like at least see you in person, up close and personal. But I'm just such a cheerleader of you guys over social media, and so the thought of being able to go to a game and watch you live your best lives feels like a little bit dance mom, proud mama moment. But I just, it makes me happy. I don't know, it just makes me happy. Um, yes. So yes, I want to see. I like. I really want to see you in person, and so I thank you in advance for supporting that effort by, you know, helping out with tickets. Even if you just like meet up and say hi, that would be cool too. But I'll keep posting out and where I'm planning to travel. And I hope to see you there. Whoever's going to Pro Action, I cannot wait to see you there. Whoever's going to Choreography Pros, can't wait to see you there. And I will be at that Ravens game, y'all, in September against the Miami Dolphins. I already forgot the date, but I will be there. And until next week, have a wonderful weekend. If you have topics for Cheer Chat for next week, let me know. I'll probably put something in the story so you guys can tell me what's on your minds. But I'll go through the second half of the NFL teams and little observations, and I will pay attention to NBA since clearly they are forming teams as well. Until then, you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you for chatting with me. I'm so sorry I missed half the shit, but I'll be paying more attention next time. Good night. Bye, Kim. I love y'all.